Now that I have addressed the racism within my own community, let's talk about the anti-Blackness that exists within the Latin American communities. So I wanted to take my time before I made this video. I knew it was coming, but I had to go out in, the field and ask my people what's going on. So this is what I concluded. When I went to go talk to them, they said that, we don't like African Americans because they feel that we owe them something.
Can we just talk about the anti-Blackness that exists in the Latino community? Because it's a real thing. And it is only further perpetuating the division between our two communities and contributing to the overall oppression of our two communities. And I know there's going to be some people out there that's like, that's not even a thing. That's not a real issue. But it is. I grew up hearing freaking racist remarks made towards Black people. And I heard it often. And I know so many other people did. And not only is it about anti-Blackness, it's also about internalized racism that some Latinos, including myself when I was a child, felt the need to be white because I saw white people being treated better. And in my mind, I'm like, well, if I'm white, or if I consider myself white, or if I tell people that I'm white, then I am going to be treated better. I didn't understand as a child why I even felt that, but we are socialized as a society to want that unless you break out of the freaking matrix and you realize, oh my gosh, we're all being oppressed by the same freaking systems.
Why are Latinos asking Black people to join them in the protest? But last month, Black people asked Latinos to stop saying the N-word because Black people find it disrespectful when Latinos say the N-word. And Latinos were so offended that they started disrespecting the Black community. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I want to say something. If you've been following me for a while or have gone through my videos recently, you see that I'm constantly pushing for unity between communities. Majority of the Black people in the comments are stating how they get a lot of disrespect from the Latinos, and majority of the Latinos in my comments are actually really disrespectful to the Black community.
Latinos saying the N-word, let's talk about it. Because growing up in California, specifically LA, you have the people who understand why you shouldn't say it. What's the point of you saying it? You're not supposed to say it. That is not yours for you to say. And then those that just throw it around like a good morning.
So for us to have division and for there to be anti-Blackness in our community is not helping anyone. One, it's just wrong. But two, it's only further perpetuating the oppression that already exists in our freaking society. So there's that part. And then there's this whole dismissal of Afro-Latinos because Afro-Latinos exist, yet sometimes are classified as not Latino, when in reality, they are Latinos, Afro-Latinos. And then there's this whole freaking connection to where we find ourselves in American history, okay? And the fact that many people, many Latinos, Latino men in particular, did not want to vote for a black and Asian, but a Black woman.
I want to make two things clear. First, I want to start off by saying that when we say things like this, we are following the same agenda that we are fighting against. We are fighting against white supremacy and racism. Those ideas that, that we have, the way we think, the way we are taught to fear African Americans, that is the same thing that we are fighting against. It's no different. When we choose to speak like this and participate in these stereotypes, we are no better than the people we are fighting against. And that is a point I want to make very clear to the people within my community, that you guys sound ignorant. We need to figure it out. Where do you truly stand with this? Because, people are right. You can't ask African Americans for help when this is in the real world. That is how they are treated. My second point. Reparations are owed to the African American community. Without them, we would not be able to vote. We would not be able to go to the same schools. We would not be able to sit wherever we want. Let's not forget. They have been fighting for a very long time, since they came here. And us not acknowledging, I know I don't feel that as a country we have paid the respect that they owe
Hi guys, welcome to the channel Rose M React. Thank you so much for your support and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Let's talk about the Latino anti-blackness that has recently been exposed. It's a tough conversation, but it's one that needs to happen. Many Latinos are finally calling out anti-blackness inside their own communities, breaking generations of silence and denial. Let's talk about why this movement matters and what it means for the future of Latinos' identity. This is not about outsiders pointing fingers, it's Latinos turning the mirror on themselves and asking, why do we treat our own people this way? Let's get to the video, but before, let me play a few clips on the same and I'll be back with my own commentary. All credit goes to the original creators of each and every video you see here.
Okay? And then there's the intersection of machismo, internalized racism, anti-blackness, and all of it contributing again to the further perpetuation of oppression of our communities. That's what I need people to understand. When there's division between our two communities, that is purposeful, okay? Because these systems, these people in power want us to be infighting, when in reality, there's a lot more that we have in common. We are also being oppressed by the same systems. We should be supporting each other. And it is because of Black people and their advocacy that we, as Latinos and other communities, have the civil rights that we have today. The ability for us to even be able to have that privilege was in large due part to Black people, okay? So I need us to understand that. And I need us to have a conversation about that, because even if we were brought up that way, that doesn't mean that we can't change. That doesn't mean that we can't do better, because we can. Okay? Even if society socializes us to believe that, we can change, we can do better. So if you want to have this conversation, follow for more.
You know, they really do. We owe them everything. It's because of greats. They're great people. You know, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., the Black Panthers, they paved the way for us. They are the blueprint. And for us to go and participate in the same mentality that we are fighting against, it's just horrible. And it's wrong. If we don't fix this type of mentality and check our people, we are no better than the people we are up against. I want you to know that ignorance is our greatest enemy. So please do not allow yourself to be blinded by hate.
And I've been pushing for unity because these protests are not where we're going to unite. There's something bigger to come where we need that unity. And something that I've been noticing during these protests is a lot of Latinos are asking the Black community for help. And when the Black community states how they don't want to, or they don't feel like they should, Latinos are disrespecting them with racial slurs. There's a video circulating on the internet where a Latina is yelling the N-word in a very derogatory form to a Black police officer. How is that helping our cause when we're asking the Black community to join us? There's videos on the internet where the comment section is full of hate from Latinos to Black people because the Black community doesn't want to join us on the protest. And while sure, I agree that this is everybody's fight, Latinos, we need to take responsibility and acknowledge the fact that this is our fault. I find it very ghetto and disrespectful for us to be saying the N-word. I find it very disrespectful for us to be even saying the M word, that stands for Beatles in Spanish. And while I am going to have a lot of people in the comments saying that this is all politics and about the Latinos for Trump BS, this has nothing to do with politics because it is before Trump took office. We were put against each other back in the 1970s and the 1980s. And we're a product of that now because it was our parents that were put against one another. Why? Must I remind you that back in the 1960s when we were all united, we actually got things done, like the Civil Rights Act movement. Latinos tend to forget that Black people, the Black community, were out protesting for field worker rights, immigration rights with us. And the Black community tends to forget that there were Latinos marching with Martin Luther King Jr., down to the point that we do have a statue for MLK in Mexico because MLK was a huge impact in the Latino community. And while I do not agree with Cesar Chavez and the stuff that he did to the immigrants in the United States, Cesar Chavez, amongst many other Latinos, were marching with MLK. Black Panthers were protecting Mexicans, while Black Panthers also helped start the Brown Berets. We have a lot of history together, and this is why divided we stay conquered, because together we get things done. So no, I'm not asking the Black community to come out and march with us, to protest with us, because this is something small compared to whatever is about to come. I'm asking the Latino and the Black community to take accountability for whatever we have going on and start asking yourselves, why have we been put against each other? And why have some of us actually gone along with the way that they want us against each other? Why is there hate amongst each other when we've done nothing but unite in the past and get things done? Where does this hate come from? I've had my fair share of experiences with racist people in the past, but those people do not define the communities that they come from for me. There's always going to be races within each community. So to my fellow Latinos, we've needed unity for a long time from other communities, and now we're reaping the consequences of us being hateful towards other communities. We even have hate within ourselves. And until we take accountability and change that, no one's going to come out to our rescue. Food for thought.
This morning I saw a video of Jenny69, who was canceled, by the way, having beef with Alanize, and this is very Latino coded. And she said, like, I don't want to talk about him. Me and that are done or fell out, whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, no mames. That's what we're doing? And I mean, granted, she's a Trumper, so I shouldn't be surprised. But the ignorance, and seriously, like, I just want to take this moment to tell Latinos that is not ours to say. That is not our word to say. Leave it alone, drop it. That just how we have words that we don't want other people to say to us, we cannot be throwing this thing around like that. Like, that is not ours. Stop it.
For decades, anti-Blackness attitudes have been passed down in many Latino families through jokes, beauty standards, and even who the people are told to date or to marry. Some families openly warn their kids not to get, quote-unquote, too dark in the sun. Others shame the curly hair or African features as something to be fixed instead of embracing it. It's painful, but it's real. And now, younger generations are refusing to let it slide. Social media has become one of the loudest spaces for this change. Afro-Latinos and conscious Latinos have been using TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube to expose how anti-Blackness shows up, from colorism in telenovelas to the way Spanish language media still centers white passing actors. They are tired of the silence, tired of pretending that racism only exists in the US or among white Americans, when in reality it's deeply rooted in Latin America too. And what's interesting is how many people are shocked to learn that Afro-Latinos exist at all. Some Latinos act as if Black and Latino cannot exist in the same sentence, but Afro-Latinos have always been part of the culture, from the Caribbean to Central and South America, contributing to music, dance, politics, and identity. The problem is they were erased for so long that even their own communities started to forget them. And now, that is changing. Latinos once stayed silent about racism are starting to comfort their families, friends, and even influences. It's uncomfortable work, but necessary. They are saying we can't fight for immigrant rights, we can't talk about unity and oppression while ignoring the discrimination happening inside our own homes. And that's a valid point. You can't demand equality from others if you're not practicing it within your own walls. There is also a big generational shift happening. The younger Latinos crowd, especially Gen Zs, is far more open about embracing their African and indigenous roots. They are calling on the idea that lighter is better, and they are proudly showing off their natural hair, the darker skin tones, and cultural history that older generations try to suppress. What used to be hidden is now celebrated. And of course, not everyone is comfortable with that. Some older Latinos still deny racism exists, saying things like, we are all the same, or we don't see color. But that's just another way of avoiding accountability. Color blindness doesn't fix racism, it hides it, and the younger generation is not letting those excuses fly anymore. This movement is not about dividing the Latino community, it's about making it stronger. And by addressing anti-Blackness, Latinos can build more honest solidarity, not just with Afro-Latinos, but with Black Americans and others facing discrimination. Because, truth be told, anti-Blackness harms everyone. It keeps people disconnected, ashamed, and fighting each other instead of the system that actually causing the struggle. It's so important to highlight that many Afro-Latinos have been speaking up for years. It's just that the world is finally listening. They were often accused of being too loud or too sensitive, but now more people are realizing they were right all along. At the end of the day, this is not just a trend, it's an awakening. Latinos are realizing that to truly stand against racism, they have to start with their own culture. It means confronting the auntie who still makes racist jokes. It means educating family members who only see whiteness as beauty. And it means celebrating oceans and hair textures and all. Because that's what real pride looks like. Anti-Blackness doesn't define Latino culture, but acknowledging it and fighting it just might redefine what it means to be Latino in the 21st century. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.